Hi, I'm Kara Lenorvitz, and I wanted to just give you a quick overview of some of the technology tools that I use regularly, both in person and during remote teaching. One of those, of course, is a learning management system. Before heading into my current role with Vermont Virtual Learning Cooperative, I actually was using Google Classroom, and I was an early adopter of this platform as a great way to both share information with students, to collect work, and to be able to give them feedback. So that's one of the management systems I've used. This year, in a new learning setting, I have been working on mastering some of the same kinds of skills in Canvas learning management system. So thinking about everything from how a particular site looks to how students interact with it, using it both a way to organize information for students and also to publish information that they're going to need on a regular basis. So I really like to think about how an individual site might be able to do a lot of the functions that would otherwise happen within a physical classroom. As well, I like to use, whether I'm in person or remote, tools that are going to encourage students to engage and interact with content in lots of ways. Whether it is synchronously when they are all working together by playing a game of Kahoot against each other, or maybe practicing on their own pace. So games like Kahoot are ways that can happen, but I also use tools like Pear Deck that allow me to share content and ideas and questions with students in a way that they can live interact with that material and give me feedback about their understanding, and I can in turn give them some suggestions and encouragement about ideas that they may have and connections that they might make to content. As well, I love to use technology to gain an understanding of not only what students think about ideas and what their understanding is in that moment, but also their confidence level and how they're feeling social emotionally about class as well. This is an example of a recent Google survey that I did with my class online. I was trying to get a little bit of an understanding of their level of confidence about content so that I could immediately in our live session then differentiate and place them into different groups based on their readiness level. I've also used Google and Google Tools for lots of other purposes as well. Sometimes when you are trying to draw connections between really big concepts on a local level, technology is helpful to be able to create tools or create visuals that are going to be helpful as a learning platform. In this case, I used Google Maps to create an overlay map of the watershed that my environmental science class was actively studying in the field, and it allowed us to better visualize where we were and the land uses around that area. I also taught students how to do this same work in Google Maps. And of course, there are endless videos that do exist online that will help to enhance curriculum. So I regularly build playlists for each of my classes that have videos that can help students deepen their understanding, gain another perspective on content, or help them make some connections between what we're learning and a larger world issue. As well, of course, there is also time where one needs to make their own videos. So I am routinely doing that as ways to keep my class informed and on top of what we're doing every single week, and so that they have a little bit more of a connection to who their teacher is on the other side of the screen. I've also helped students. These tools all also that work for teachers also work well for students for creating and delivering content. Here's a picture of two students that I worked with in person who were doing some scientific research as part of a grant-funded program, and they were presenting their work at a formal scientific conference. The professional poster that they made behind them, we made the same way that scientists do when they are presenting on conferences, and we did that using PowerPoints. So they actually made one large slide that got printed out professionally, and so it's a great way for them to up the level of sophistication of the great work and understanding that they have. Technology tools, of course, also are fabulous for collaboration, whether it's on-the-fly collaboration like this quick brainstorm and analysis that we recently did in one of my earth science classes using Padlet, or an ongoing interactive live presentation where different student groups have the opportunity to input new content as that presentation is going on. Here in this Google presentation, I was leading the presentation. We left into breakout rooms during that time, and different student groups were able to create content that was live posted for every group that was part of that presentation. As well, of course, there's always screencasting. I'm using it as on a regular basis, but I'm also teaching students how to use it as well so they can capture some of their own great ideas in new ways.